of Technology, Saegis Campus. Professor Rangana Shalika, Professor in Tourism Management, Sabaragama University. Ms. Gayani Aruma Peruma, co-chair of Saegis Undergraduate Research Symposium 2026. Ms. Tarushi Pramodya, co-chair, Saegis Undergraduate Research Symposium 2026. Dr. Krikshani Anuradha Jayasinghe, Director, Academic and International Affairs, Saegis Campus. Mr. Navoda Kotugoda, Dean, Faculty of Computing and Technology, Saegis Campus. Ms. Yamuna Fernando, Dean, Faculty of Management, Humanities and Social Sciences, Saegis Campus. Dr. Esmond De Silva, Registrar, Saegis Campus. Ms. Nishara Appa Singha, Chief Operating Officer, Saegis Campus. Mr. Chaturka Range Bandara, Head of Marketing, Saegis Campus, and a representative from the presenters. May we also request everyone in the audience to please stand for this occasion.
Thank you. You may now be seated. Our distinguished guests, this moment beautifully marks the formal start of SURS 2026. To formally welcome everyone to today's symposium, it's my pleasure to invite the conference co-chair, Ms. Gaini Arma Peruma, Director of the Career Guidance Unit. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming her with a warm round of applause.
Very good morning, everyone. It is with immense pleasure that I stand before you today as the conference co-chair to welcome you to the third annual Sages Undergraduate Research Symposium 2026. We call this as SURS, SURS 2026. To our distinguished keynote speaker, first, Senior Professor Arosha Adhikaram, we are deeply honored, Madam, to have your presence today. Your invaluable role in inspiring our undergraduate researchers to embark on their academic journeys. To our esteemed guest from Canterbury Christchurch University, United Kingdom, especially Dr. Lorna Thomas, and Assam Downtown University, India, Dr. Mushari, uh, as well as I need to mention about our Vice Chancellor, though his presence is not available, his vision, insight is here everywhere. Himself, then again, Deputy Vice Chancellor, uh, WDG Dharmaratna, academic staff, reviewers, panelists, and entire organizing committee. Most importantly, our undergraduate researchers and presenters today. I extend to you a warm welcome filled with utmost respect and gratitude because your participation is really important. To the brilliant minds present in their research today, our dedicated faculty, and to all participants who have chosen to spend their day with us in this pursuit of knowledge. Thank you very much. Because it is really a day we all need to remember in our journey. You are going to become a researcher. This is maybe your first initiative, but that is actually uh, acknowledged, and we are highly recommending this journey for you all to go ahead. This year, we gathered under the theme The World at a Crossroads, Contemporary Challenges and Emerging Pathways, Exploring Today, Shaping Tomorrow. So, we believe you will shape the tomorrow's research culture with the guidance. These words are not merely a title, they reflect very essence of the times in which we live. We are navigating an era of profound transformation, climate change that threatens our planet, technology, and evolves faster than our capacity to comprehend it. Politically, socially, the shifts are happening, reshaping our communities and world that is more interconnected today but seems divided more than before. At such a crossroads, it is easy to feel overwhelmed. I think you might feel the same. But it is also a moment of immense possibility, and it is here that the role of research becomes just not important, it is utmost important. We commend uh, our proceedings today. I need to give a briefing for the session. So with that, we started with oil lamp. Then again, we will be proceeding with uh, very detailed and enlightened session for you all to listen with our invited keynote speakers. Then again, our Deputy Vice Chancellor, Dr. Lorna Thomas from Canterbury Christchurch University, Dr. Manoj Mushari from Assam Downtown University. So with that, today's detailed agenda is described here. Then comes to the technical sessions. After the refreshments and all, we'll be going for the technical sessions at 11 a.m. Afterwards, we are inviting all the students to join with awarding ceremony at 2 o'clock in the same place, this auditorium. You are supposed to come here to receive your certificates and your best presenter certifications. Even we are inviting all the panelists, our invited guest panelists, as well as our presenters to join with us in this evening. To our all presenters, I have a word. I'm appreciating your effort because your courage to ask difficult questions, your dedication to rigorous inquiry, and your passion for your subjects are what made you today to come here. And you are the heart of SURS 2026. The awards and certificates we will present today at the end of the day are a recognition of your efforts. But the true reward lies with the knowledge you share in your technical sessions. Not only that, please build your connections as well. This symposium is a collaborative effort, and I would like to express my deepest gratitude to our advisory committee, the tireless organizing team, our panelists, reviewers, and all staff at Saegis campus. With over 6 months of commitment, we have arrived at today with a full support of our staff members and student committees standing firmly behind me. My sincere appreciation also goes to our collaborative partners, especially Canterbury Christchurch University, UK, and Assam Downtown University, India, for their invaluable support in upholding their academic excellence. As well as I need to mention about our sponsors. They made us stand before you in this way. So thank you very much. As we move out throughout our journey, please make it fruitful. So I wish you all productive, inspiring, and truly rewarding symposium. May this day be remembered as a defining moment in your journey as a researcher. Your effort in 2026 will echo in years to come. So remember this day. You are starting as a researcher. Warmly welcome to the SURS 2026.
Thank you, Ms. Aruma Perma, for a warm welcome and for your efforts on your team to help with organizing this symposium.
Our next speaker joins us virtually from the United Kingdom, Dr. Lona Thomas. Dr. Lona Thomas is the Associate Dean of Global Engagement and Internationalization at the School of Business, Law and Policy, Canterbury Christchurch University. Dr. Thomas holds a PhD from the Canterbury. She also leads several of the university's international programs and partnerships. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Lona Thomas, joining us online from the UK.
Good morning, students. And a good morning from the UK. It is still 4:30 in the morning here. And just to reflect on the opening talk and the link to climate change, we are very unusually in the middle of a drought here in the UK. So we sort of really welcome Dr. Gayoni's invitation to manage that kind of aspect. Anyway, Canterbury Christchurch University, we've been part of the conference proceedings since the conference started a few years ago. And we're always continually honoured to be part of the collaboration. And firstly, to congratulate everybody involved in the organisation. Whether you're presenting your research or supporting a fellow student, chairing a session or joining to hear new ideas, thank you for being part of this important event. Today is really a celebration, but a celebration of research, but mostly a celebration of curiosity. Every research project begins with curiosity. Maybe a question, an observation, or perhaps a problem that someone believes deserves closer attention. Developing that initial idea into a completed research project requires commitment and a willingness to keep going when the answers are not immediately clear. Research is rarely a straightforward journey. There's often unexpected findings. There's sometimes difficult decisions and moments when the evidence challenges our original assumptions. These moments are an essential part of the research process. They encourage us to think more carefully and remain open to different explanations and perspectives. Something that I am quite passionate about, remaining open to new ideas. For the presenters today, the conference represents an important stage in that journey. Presenting your work can sometimes feel daunting, but it is a valuable opportunity and it is often quite exciting. It allows you to share what you've discovered, explain why it matters, and receive constructive feedback that can help develop thinking further. We all know that research it's not about knowing everything. It's about asking those meaningful questions and contributing to the conversation. Whether it's a professional conversation or an academic conversation, hopefully it may cross both. Some of the most valuable discussions begin with the words, "I had not considered that before." The range of research being presented today reflects the diversity and the breadth of issues that matter to the delegates. Behind every presentation are many, many hours of reading, collecting evidence, planning, thinking, analyzing information, writing, rewriting, and overcoming challenges. And today allows those delegates and students to recognize that work and to learn from one another. I encourage all the delegates and the students who may be there to engage fully with these sessions, listen with genuine interest, and ask those thoughtful questions and offer feedback that is constructive and supportive. A successful conference really depends not only on the quality of the presentations, but also on the conversations that happen there. For our presenters, do try and enjoy the experience and speak about your work with passion. You've earned the opportunity to stand there and share it, and the skills that you demonstrate today, communication, critical thinking, and responding to questions, will remain valuable well beyond today. And as has just been mentioned, research has the power to create change. It can really influence professional practice, identify things like inequalities, improve communities, and help us respond to the most complex issues facing all of our societies. And your research may begin as part of studies, but its relevance and potential impact can extend much, much further. I'd like to thank Saegis Campus for your passion as ever, for your thoughts into research and facilitating a conference to present research. And to thank delegates who have supported student researchers. They are the researchers of the future. And to supervisors and tutors and the organisers and the session chairs and the professional service colleagues have all contributed to making today a huge success. Your encouragement, guidance, and support are always greatly appreciated. Most importantly, I'd like to congratulate everyone presenting today. Reaching this point is an achievement in itself, and you should all be extremely proud. Let us all approach the conference with curiosity and a generosity and always an open mind. And let us celebrate what is being shared. I'd like to thank you once again to Saegis Campus, and thank you to all the delegates in joining us. I hope it's an enjoyable, stimulating, and inspiring conference, and it is my great pleasure to speak and welcome. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Tulbers, for joining us virtually from the UK and for your kind words and to our students.
Now invite the Deputy Vice Chancellor of Saegis Campus, Senior Professor Emeritus W.D.G. Dharmaratna to address the gathering. It is my great pleasure to introduce Senior Professor Emeritus W.G.D. Dharmaratna, an eminent academic and distinguished scholar in the field of physics. He currently serves as the Deputy Vice Chancellor of Saegis Campus and is an Emeritus Professor of Physics at the University of Rohana. Professor Dharmaratna holds a BSc in Physics from University of Peradeniya and an MSc and a PhD in Theoretical Physics from Tufts University, USA. Throughout his distinguished career, he has made significant contributions to higher education, research, academic leadership in Sri Lanka. His remarkable accomplishments and contributions span decades, and it is impossible to do justice to his distinguished career in just a few words. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Senior Professor Emeritus W.G.D. Dharmaratna to the podium to deliver his address.
Senior Professor Arosha Karam, Chair Professor of Human Resource Management, University of Colombo, Senior Professor Saman Chandana Edirivira, Head Department of Technology, Professor Rangana Herath, Professor Tourism Management, Sabaragama University, all members of the Advisory Committee from CCCU and some Downtown University, India. Of course, the Dr. Loana Thomas already joined from CCCU. I think I should mention CCU support and Dr. Loana's participation from the first symposium today is continuous. I think that I greatly appreciate that. And also, Dr. Manoj K.R. Ushari, some Downtown University also joining online from India. Dr. Tishani Anuradha Jayasinghe, Director Academic and International Affairs of Saegis Campus. Conference co-chairs Ms. Gaini Aruma Peruma and Ms. Harushi Pramoda. Dean Faculty of Computing and Technology, Mr. Naoda Kutugoda, and the Dean Faculty of Management and Humanities and Social Sciences, Ms. Yamuna Fernando. Dr. Esmond De Silva, the Registrar of Saegis Campus, Ms. Nishara Singha, Chief Operating Officer, and Mr. Chaturka Rangibandara, Head of the Marketing Department. All other heads of the departments and all academic and non-academic staff members, dear students and ladies and gentlemen. Dear students, a very good morning to all of you. It is with both great honor and privilege to address you at the third Saegis Undergraduate Research Symposium. On behalf of the Chairman, Vice Chancellor, and on behalf of the entire Saegis community, I extend to each of you our warmest welcome and sincere appreciation for your presence. So this symposium, there is a difference between the symposium and conference. From the starting, we thought symposium is the place where we give opportunity to express research areas, research interests. It doesn't have to be finalized research outcome, but we prefer to have the perspective. So main objective is to give the opportunity for SAGES students to start their research career and give opportunity to make presentations. So this is the first step. Sometimes it is hard, very hard for to do the first presentation. Anyway, I have made some slides because I yesterday here in some sessions I noticed that some of the presentations, it was a conference, it was not covering the research as usual. And the other thing, some students think this is some extra workload. Because of that, I yesterday decided to make a few slides to demonstrate to you how important is research and how you can start research. That's the starting point is the tough. So I will go through a few slides to explain how you could think of starting the research and how you will continue it, how you will publish at the end, and how you get the professional recognition. So that I think I have authority to tell because I have done this all starting as a professional lecturer. We gave the topic to this presentation, becoming a successful researcher from curiosity to contribution. I think Dr. Lohan also mentioned the curiosity. That's the key point for starting research. Research begins with curiosity. You know the Albert Einstein, the best physicist in the 20th century. Albert Einstein once said, I have no special talents. I am only passionately curious. So that's a good message for all the students. So you have to be curious. That's the starting point of research. Every successful research project begins with curiosity. You should ask questions such as, why does this happen? Can this process be improved? Is there a better solution? Why has nobody solved this problem effectively? So you find the problems in the society or environment, you find unsolved problems. So then you have to be curious to always, you have to question all the assumptions we are making, whether that is correct. Some assumptions are correct based on the observations, but when you measure things better, assumptions get wrong. Choosing the right research area, that is first thing the student is worrying, what is the research area? How can I select it? So choose an area where three things overlap. Something that interests you. That's the number one. You have to select the area where you find the interest. Otherwise, no point. You cannot read, then you cannot follow literature, and you cannot follow articles if you're not interested. So the next one is something that society, industry, or the country needs, or the world needs. Right? I mean, that's the most important thing because the output has to be useful. Something that can be completed with the available time and resources. So that if the students, you have a certain period to complete the research projects. And if you get a research grant, then there is a period to complete the research, 2 years or 3 years, depending on the grants. So numerous challenges to address. So you can address whether the environment, pollution, or medical side, or AI field. So you can select, there are numerous challenges. Every challenge is an opportunity for research. So you have many opportunities for research. You look at these challenges with open-minded and curiosity. Ask, what problems can I help solve? So you have to think to solve the problem, not just to do research. If you solve something, then it is valuable. The best research solves problem. So if you solve problems, then the other people will use it and recognize it. So the importance of the literature survey. So that's the starting point. Suppose you have selected the area now, then you have to start. You selected the problem that you want to address, but now you have to start it. Now you have idea. You have to start. The starting point is the literature survey. So some students may think that is waste of time, but compared to our time now, this is a couple of seconds for you to get the literature survey done. We had to spend some time, months, to get the paper from outside. So literature survey helps you discover what has already been done, what methods have been successful, what limitations still exist. So just you find the selected interested area, the problem that you are thinking solve, then look for then you go AI and just put the type you are interested here, you will get lots of publications, right? So then you have to find what is done, what are the methods used, what limitations still exist that gives the problem. So if you do that, you all can find a good research project for your research project in the degree program, but you have to continue beyond that. And most importantly, what questions remain unanswered? Good researchers do not start from zero. It is not, you cannot out of the box start with something without knowing anything. It is easy to start. Like maybe if you are in higher level, you can think like that, like in mathematics. It's out of the box, right? But in starting point, you have to start going through the literature. So you are always, there is a pathway. It's straightforward. Sorry. So this literature survey improves your scientific thinking. Avoid repeating work because you don't want to reinvent the wheel after spending months and months to do some research if somebody has already published it. So that saves going through the literature. Choosing the right supervisor. If you are doing especially a master's degree, PhD, selecting the right supervisor is very important. A good supervisor becomes your mentor. Select someone with matching research interest. So you have to find the supervisor. Normally, what you have to do is you look at the research publications of the supervisor and see whether you have the similar interest. The research interest brings people together. Whether you are here or maybe sometimes you can do research with people who you have not you have not seen even by searching the internet. Sometimes you can find the fellowships or positions to do PhD abroad through this way. I know some of our students and some of my colleagues has found PhD positions just contacting supervisors through links and discussing the research interest. Research is a partnership built on mutual respect, right? It's a mutual respect. It is not only research, even everyday life, you have to learn mutual respect. But research, it is the partnership between mutual respect. Student plus supervisor. Relationship often continues long after graduation. Right? My supervisor still contact me. I also contact me. When I went to there, I go there and see. Then he gives some problems. He still to work for me. Many successful academics around the world still collaborate with their PhD supervisors decades later. Therefore, choose wisely. Plan in your research. Okay, now you found the problem, you find the supervisor, then plan in your research. Before beginning any project, prepare a clear research plan. What resources do I need? Do I need laboratory facilities? Do I need software? Do I need access to organizations or participants? Will I require funding? How much time is needed for each stage? So this is a common sense. No, I'm not telling any serious thing here. This is just the normal nature, right? So the planning, then you have to decide that. You can discuss with the supervisor these topics, these things, and see well planned. You need to know the resources required. So good planning prevents unnecessary delays. Remember a simple saying: failing to plan is planning to fail. Failing to plan is planning to fail. So methodology. Okay, now you decided you can do it in the given time. Then you have to decide the methodology. How we do it. A good research project follows a logical process. I here said the logical process. If it is in science, I would say scientific methodology, but it's different on the subject. So identify the problem. Now you've already done. Develop research questions or hypothesis. Once you have the idea, you have to start with the hypothesis or model or theory. Design a suitable logical process. Collect reliable data. Analyze the data carefully. Interpret the results objectively. Draw conclusions based on evidence, not personal questions. So data, you have to be honest. You have to get the correct data. I know some people even use incorrect data, manipulate data, publish papers, but those won't survive for long. So conclusions you have to make, especially if you are doing statistical analysis. So you have to be very careful making conclusions. Right? There is a saying that What is that? Wrong, damn wrong, and statistics. So that's why if you do statistics, you have to very honestly analyze it and give the conclusions. In science, we often use the scientific methodology or scientific method. Other areas use conceptual frameworks, statistical models, surveys, interviews, or case studies. Evidence should always guide your conclusions, because at the end, you should look at the evidence. At the end of the research, you get some conclusions. Then you have to see whether there are some evidence to do that, evidence supporting your findings. Because if you publish a journal, if you write a journal article, at the end, you have to map your findings with some published data that you found in the literature survey. Comparing your findings with existing knowledge, that is what I said in the previous transparency at the end. After completing your analysis, compare your findings with previous studies. Do they agree? Do they disagree? If they differ, why? So some may be agreeing, then most people will feel, okay, my research is in agreed, so no question. Sometimes they disagree. Which one is better? If you are confident what you have done, if it disagree is better, because that means you found something new. But you have to be absolutely clear and confidence what you found. Finding new research disagreement means something new, maybe can get the Nobel Prize, even some people, because that's a new branch. Finding new area means you get popular. That's what's happened to Einstein. He just put up some papers. They were interested. Around the world, everybody start to work on area. So that's how people get famous. Finding disagreement with the existing accepted methods. But by mistakes also it can disagree. That's why I said you have to be confident if it disagree. Research is like adding one more brick to a very large building that humanity has been constructing for centuries. So each researcher adds only a few bricks, but together those bricks build civilization. So this is like this Einstein gave some ideas. Now still people are working on those ideas, right? So that's how the research developed. There may be with disagreements, you created new areas. Publish in your research. If your research produce valuable new knowledge, share it. You must share it. You must publish. Present it at a conference like today, or publish it in a reputed free journal. I mean, it is different level, but you can, if you are presenting today. So if you got good review reports, you should continue that, targeting the good publication with the full detailed research paper. However, I must also give you one important warning. Today, many fake or predatory online journals promise quick publications in exchange for money. So there's a big business. They don't review, they pretend like they review. Right? I think there's somebody at the very early stage, they noticed he wrote a junk paper and sent to these online publications. They were accepted. Right? Person knew that he purposely wrote a junk paper, it's accepted. So this is a long story. So you can find them, avoid them. Because these journals do not provide proper peer review and often damage the researcher's reputation. Avoid them. Quality is always more important than quantity. So now, not only the fake journals, there are some fake conferences also. Sometimes organized conferences, there's no conference, but people go there, spend money, you get some financial support from countries. You go there, but then there may be some just little gathering, have some party or something. So avoid these fake journals and fake conferences. You can publish fake journals in 2 weeks or 3 weeks. So making an impact. How can I become a recognized researcher? Work on challenging problems. So it was when I was a student there in PhD. Actually, every week they have seminars. So my supervisor went to seminar in Russia. He came back and he showed the problem. He said, no, nobody know how to work out this problem. But then he suggested, if you can, you try this. So that's my research topic. So you have to find the beginning as a student, you don't want to try it. You try it. First step has to be very simple, you can enjoy, because by the time I had already done some research, then I have some confidence. In your research, within it maybe you are improving healthcare, protects the environment, improves education, develops better technologies, strengthens businesses, improve people's quality of life. So any subject area will cover these topics. Say you language or management or finance. So you can find solutions to these problems. Others will read and cite your work. Then there is something called H index. So if you publish, if the other people cite that your paper, then automatically it counts for the H index. So the greatest reward of research is not your H index. It is something, some people don't even worry. It is in published on the internet. But it is knowing that your work has made a significant impact on research or someone's life. That is a research satisfaction. So you have to be satisfied from your output. Then you will do more and more research, right? So you have to enjoy. If you enjoy, you keep reading that area, right? As long as you live, right? Conclusion: research is a journey. It begins with curiosity. It goes through learning. It succeeds through perseverance. Along the way, you will face failures. Failures is part of research. Experiments may fail. Data may not behave as expected. Reviewers may reject your paper. Do not be discouraged, right? I know some researchers had lots of problems during the COVID period. They could not collect data. They could not continue on time. So those type of things also could happen. Finally, remember this thought: the future does not belong to those who simply consume knowledge. So most of us are consume knowledge. The future belongs to those who create knowledge. So you have to be a knowledge creator if you are an academic or researcher. Right? You can consume knowledge for your everyday life or whatever, right? But you have to create new knowledge. I encourage every one of you to become not only graduates, but inventors, not only learners, but discoverers, not only job seekers, but problem solvers. Even you go to the industry for jobs, they find whether you can solve their problems in the company. Right? So they should plan like this. Not only graduates, but inventors, not only learners, but discoverers, not only job seekers, but problem solvers. Perhaps the next breakthrough that changes Sri Lanka or even the world will begin with one of the research projects started by you. It's a long journey, right? You never know. Sometimes I know people who got the Nobel Prize, they didn't all be because they were graduate students. They just did the problem, but at the end it came up very valuable and got the Nobel Prize. Thank you very much. And I wish you the Saegis Undergraduate Research Symposium very success. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Dharmaratna, for your guidance and encouraging words. Our next speaker joins us from Assam Downtown University, India, one of our valued partner institutions for this symposium. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Manoj Kumar Mushari. Dr. Muchari is an associate professor in the Department of Computer Science and Engineering at Assam Downtown University with extensive experience in academia, research, and software development. He earned his PhD in Computer Science and Engineering from Tezpur University and has built an impressive career in teaching, research, and academic leadership. His research interests include artificial intelligence, cloud computing, cybersecurity, the Internet of Things, and medical image processing. He has published extensively in leading international journals, co-edited several academic books, and actively contributes to the global research community as a reviewer, session chair, and a mentor. Dr. Mushari's achievements and contributions are far too numerous to capture in a brief introduction. It is truly an honor to have him with us today. It is now my pleasure to invite Dr. Manoj Kumar Mushari, joining us online from Assam Downtown University, India, to deliver his address. Dr. Mushari, the virtual stage is yours.
Sorry to interrupt, dear Dr. Moshari. Your audio is not visible for us.
Am I audible now?
Yes, it's audible. Thanks.
Okay, I think I'm clearly audible to everyone.
Yes, Dr. Moshari, it's audible.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Distinguished co-chairs of SIRC 2026, team leadership, faculty of this campus Sri Lanka, team speakers, senior professor, distinguished guests, colleagues from across international borders, and above all, brilliant graduate researchers who represents the true pursuit of this symposium. Very warm to all. It is an honor to be here today, virtually bridging the distance between some downtown university in India and Saegis campus in Sri Lanka. Delivered a special address of the opening ceremony of this undergraduate research symposium, SURS. So, on behalf of some downtown university, for management, faculty, academic community, I extend our deepest appreciation to the organization committee of SAGES campus for inviting us to be part of this celebration of youth, inquiry, and innovation. Cross-border academic engagement like SURs demonstrate that while geography may separate us, our shared commitment to research, knowledge creation, societal progress unites us. The theme chosen for SURC 2026 World Day cost for contemporary challenges and emerging it could not be more timely. So when we look around us today, we see world navigating with like interconnected transformations, like rapid climate shift demanding sustainable operation in green cities, evolving economic paradigm requiring digital integration and agile entrepreneurship, and also unprecedented technological disruptions like artificial intelligence, ubiquitous connectivity, and automated decision. It so say we are at a crossroad. It's not a cliche, then empirical reality, or path leads towards unmanaged complexity, digital divide, and environmental stress. Other path, one we are here forged to lead towards intelligent systems, sustainable structures, effective innovation, human-centered practice. And also the sub-theme of the symposium, exploring today, shaping tomorrow, reminds us that tomorrow is not something that simply happens to us. Tomorrow is engineered, coded, researched, tested, and built in laboratories, field studies, and research papers. And remarkably, much of the foundation work is being driven by right here by the undergraduates. Yeah. As an academician in the field of computer technology, I am particularly energized to see how single technology and digital innovation are criticizing URC 2026. Looking at your symposium tracks, where you have tracks smart minds in computing and AI, digital infrastructure and innovation, systems and intelligence. It is evident that computer is no longer an isolated academic discipline. It is connective tissue of IT. Technology is no longer merely a tool for efficiency. It is the infrastructure in which humanity addresses more most critical challenges. Whether we are discussing smart drainage monitoring to mitigate urban flooding, climate vulnerable cities, leveraging weekly supervised computer vision models for road infrastructure, health, or securing digital network against cyber threats. Computer science has evolved from technology to real world programming. To our young researchers in computing, software engineering, and digital reflection, your work has immediate practical consequences. You write an algorithm, you're not just manipulating syntax, you are deciding how resources are allocated, how data is protected, how decisions are automated, and how human interaction with technology. For example, smart systems must be that's what you could think of. Cyber innovation must be inclusive, and also software engineering must be sustainable. These are some of very important things that we have to take in mind. There are times when high impact research was considered exclusive domain of senior research, senior scholars, doctoral candidates, specialized laboratories. CURC 2026 stands as a powerful testament to how completely that paradigm has shifted. Undergraduate research is unique because it is unburdened by legacy thinking. As undergraduate researchers, you bring an invaluable quality to the academic table, unfiltered curiosity. You are not afraid to ask, why do we do this way? Or what if we tried something completely different? Can answer. When you engage in research at this stage of your academic journey, you cultivate critical skills that extend far beyond your immediate degree. You think of art of structure, problem solving. You think of resilience through iteration. You think of interdisciplinary thinking. These are very, very important to keep in mind. Now, researchers is not just an academic exercise to earn marks of completed final year project. Actually, that's undergraduate focused mindset with the habit of questioning assumptions, verifying facts, with data, picking better way to serve humanity. Now, as you present your papers, exchange ideas across tracks, and participate in sessions today, I leave you with three important principles to guide your journey through as an emerging world. So one is that solve real problem with local relevance and global wisdom. Look around you. Look around your environment, your cities, your campus, your industries. Best whispers often start by addressing or pressing local challenges, build solutions, tell global. Two is value rigor over speed. I mean by it is that in an era of rapid AI generation and instant output, academic value lies in methodology, empirical validation, and rigorous critical thinking. Take pride in depth and honesty of your work. Third, collaborate across the discipline. Very, very important is world because complex challenges our global crossroad cannot be solved by computer scientists alone or by economists or socialists in isolation. Most breakthrough innovations happen at the intersection of the things where computing means management, environment science, and social interdisciplinary, as we call it, right? So, to the leadership and faculty of Saegis campus, congratulations on orchestrating a magnificent for your scholar, your vision in bringing together diverse facts in business and humanities to intelligence software systems, creates the exact interdisciplinary ecosystem powerful, right? To our undergraduate researchers presenting today, be proud of the work that you have submitted. Present your findings with confidence. Welcome constructive feedback from reviewers and peers with an open mind, and view today not as the destination of your research, but as the launch, which start of launch. So, on behalf of some downtown university, I wish SURC 2026 resounding success. May the presentation today spark new insight, will lasting academic friendship across our institute, and let the pathway for a smarter, more resilient tomorrow. Thank you very much to all the thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Mushari, for your message and for representing Assam Downtown University at SURS 2026.
It is now my great honor to invite our keynote speaker for this morning, Senior Professor Arosha Adhikaram from the University of Colombo, Sri Lanka, to deliver the keynote address. To introduce our keynote speaker, I would kindly invite Dr. Esmond De Silva, Registrar, Saegis Campus, to the podium.
I am both privileged and honored to introduce the keynote speaker of today's momentous event, Saegis Undergraduate Research Symposium 2026. As I believe, this introduction does not in any way surprise the person in the limelight, nor would she add pride to herself. Rather, she will be humbler. The purpose of reading the profile of such a person of that caliber in a setting like this is to illuminate the others, especially our students, the next generation who will take the baton to run the next leap of research and to know while listening to this profile that behind every achievement there is tremendous amount of sacrifice. Behind every accomplishment there is commitment, perhaps unseen. And behind every award there had been tears, sweat, and sleepless nights unrevealed. So I believe that is true with Senior Professor Arosha Esadikaram. She is currently serving as the Chair of Human Resource Management at the Faculty of Management and Finance, University of Colombo, and the coordinator for the faculty for PhD and MPhil program. The former head of Human Resource Management, EMBA, coordinator and the acting director of the Center for Gender Equality at the University of Colombo. She has served as a senior academic expert for the World Bank funded project and as an independent consultant for the Asian Development Bank on renewable energy and power systems resilience. With over 100 publications, book chapters, and papers in internationally indexed journals, her research spans gender issues in workplace, human resource management, crisis management, diversity, equity and inclusion, employee voice, and labor law. Her fame includes the Emerald Literati Award for Outstanding Paper in 2021, the Committee of Vice Chancellors and Directors Excellence Award for the Most Outstanding Senior Research of the Management in 2022. Multiple times, University of Colombo Vice Chancellors and Senate Awards for Research Excellence, and recognition as one of the 10 outstanding young researchers of the year 2010 by Junior Chamber International JCI Sri Lanka. She holds research fellowship from the Asian University Alliance, University of Japan, the International Labour Organization, ILO Geneva, University of North South Wales, and Sri Lanka Foundation, and has delivered over 300 speeches and keynotes globally on HRM, labor law, gender equity, and diversity and inclusion. So, we are privileged and fortunate enough to listen to the voice and thoughts of Professor Arosha Sadikar. The podium is yours, ma'am.
Thank you so much. And thank you for that wonderful introduction. And it's always honor to be present in front of young, enthusiastic researchers and to share some of the ideas that I've mm, been thinking about and working on. So let me first start with a simple question. Now, we'll all think about, reflect our own self, about our own self, and you'll have to select an answer or a few. So it's a questionnaire poll, sort of. So why do you do research? Now be very honest to yourself and tell me why you do research, or at least think about the answer. Because it's compulsory for your degree. It's good to get good grades, publish and improve your CV, because you genuinely want to solve a problem, or you honestly don't know. Think of the answer, and I think that's where we need to start. And many of the things that I was planning to talk to you today was addressed by many of the previous speakers. That's the disadvantage of being the last speaker in any event. You'll be repeating, but I think I'll sort of summarize what everybody has said today. So we'll start with this, as I said. So see why you do research. I have more questions for you. Tell me how many of these describe you. Okay? So I want you to raise your hand and be honest again to yourself. So raise your hand if you um, have used ChatGPT for an assignment. You're all so very good, no? Yes, you're not being graded. You're not, nobody's. The teachers, please don't look behind the lecturers. And I know how the lecturers also, we also do assignments. So I suppose most of us would be raising our hand for this. You have copied a citation without reading the original paper. I'm sure many of the young researchers today would have just asked ChatGPT to summarize paper and wouldn't have actually seen, wouldn't have even opened the paper maybe. You have searched Google instead of the library database? No raise of hands. Of course, everybody, right? Yeah, we all have done it. You have started your literature review the night before a submission. You have ever wondered, why am I actually doing this research? So none of you are wrong. If you think you wanted to, or you raised your hands for all of this, that's being a researcher, I suppose. Today, in today's context, that's being a researcher. That's perfectly all right, as long as we actually do research for the right reason and with the right intentions and with ethics and ethical conduct in mind. So those are some of the things that I'll be talking about. So before I move further, I'll very quickly touch on what research is. You all know it, you've done it, and that's why you are here. We say it's investigation of a problem in a structured manner. But what I love most among the many definitions of what research is, this definition of another Albert, not Einstein, though, where he had said research is to see what everybody else has seen and to think what nobody else has thought. So it's not that difficult in a way, but it's also quite difficult, right? We have to sort of think outside the box, think in different ways, and explore the world and be very curious, as previous researchers also said. Now, being a lecturer, I have a lot of questions for you. So I'll ask you another question. Okay. Who knows more? Google or you? Who knows more? Google or you? Google, right? So if that's the case, if Google knows everything, why do we need to do research? Why do we need universities if the knowledge is already created out there? Why do we need to engage in research? Why are universities needed? The reason is Google gives answers, but researchers ask better questions. So that's what differentiates us, and that's the skill I think you need to develop as a researcher. So it will not only for research, but in everything in life. When you start working, when meet friends, when out there, when you socialize, in whatever the context, this asking questions, this ability to ask questions and ability to ask good questions is one of the most important skills today. It also is linked to how you prompt to get information from AI. To search Google to search for knowledge, you need to know how to ask questions. So research is really less about finding answers and more about developing the discipline to ask better questions. So there are so many questions you can ask. What, why, how? Dr. Dharmaratna spoke a lot about these questions that you need to ask in research. So see how you need to, raise questions, ask questions. And for that, you need to be curious. You need to come out of your comfort zone. You need to question the accepted. You need to be, you need to be very um, thoughtful, and also you need to be not afraid to ask questions. And that is a skill that you need to develop from now onwards. So research provides you with the foundation to, as I've been saying, ask meaningful questions, evaluate evidence critically, distinguish facts from misinformation, and transform knowledge into positive societal impact. So, why you do research? The first question that I ask, it should not only be to get good grades, to get the degree. It should be with the understanding that this research that you have embarked on and that you are engaged in is the start of developing your skills to ask meaningful questions. And then research would help you to become problem solvers, as Professor Dharmaratna also said, rather than problem observers. We are all observers, no? And we are very good at giving our judgments, criticizing people at the back. You go to social media and you see how many people, have their opinion written there, but very few people actually do something about it. Very few people are problem solvers. So, this skill that you would get through research would certainly help you to become a problem solver. So, that's what the impact that the previous researchers were talking about, and I will talk about it a little bit more later on. So, for you to solve problems, again, this asking questions is important, but also you need to be empathetic. You need to care about social problems. You need to engage with society. You need to engage with the industry. You need to engage with your discipline, with your lecturers, all of that. And, always when you see something, ask the question, why is this happening? How is this happening? What's going on here? How can this be solved? And if all us researchers do that, I'm sure the world will be a better place um, rather than keeping our research to a conference or to a publication. And then research will also help you to develop the habit of questioning assumptions and seeking evidence, and more thoughtful, and to become more thoughtful professionals, better decision makers, and more responsible citizens. So always when you have the skill of researching, you always back your statements, back your solutions with evidence, and that skill again helps you in everything in life. Especially when you become practitioners, you might not do a formal research as you would do as an undergraduate or a postgraduate. But in your work, every day you'll be engaging in research, finding evidence, and making evidence based decisions. So that skill is also something that you develop through research. So good research requires certain skills, certain things. In addition to your ability to ask questions and all of that, it will help you to be patient, persistent, and intellectually honest. So, for you to be a good researcher, you need to be patient. So, you cannot do a research overnight. Now, for our undergraduates at the Faculty of Management and Finance, University of Colombo, the deadline for their undergraduate research submission, dissertation submission, is today. And 3 days ago, my research student, who had been gone missing for quite some time, says she had done 10 interviews and 3 days to submit. No analysis, no nothing. I don't know how in 3 days she's going to do the research. But now she has sent me a message saying, I am there in the department. Madam, are you coming to get the signature? Now I'm wondering now whether I should sign or not. I can't. She has been on and off in touch. But how can you analyze and come up with some good research findings in 3 days? I can't imagine how that can be done. And I think she had been patient till the last moment. But that's not the patience that I'm talking about. You have to be patient in terms of, doing a research which takes you some time. It does take you a lot of time if you have to do a good research. It's not an overnight endeavor. You have to be persistent. For our students, persistence is sending a 100-page research the day before. The submission is 12 midnight. We get it around, sometimes, you believe me, 10 in the night. The submission is 12. Madam, can you give me feedback? And we have to be awake, waiting for the student to send us the report. And 2 hours we have to be up and send them feedback. And how they are going to address the feedback, we don't know. So those are things that is linked to the question that I asked earlier at the start also. Why do you do research? If you do it just to get the degree, do we just do a very a surface level study just to get it done, and it would not add anything to you. And the time you would have spent in learning research and in preparing a proposal, collecting data, all that goes to waste because nothing important will come out of it. But if you really engage in research, you'll be so happy at the end of this very difficult journey, knowing that you've done a very good study. And when you present at a forum like this, or when you publish, you're very confident because you've done it. You know your study in and out, and you're very confident, and you can really see how you can make an impact also. And when you do a research for the sake of doing it, the intellectual honesty is also questioned. Because sometimes there are people who would do the whole research for you. Social media has so many such posts, and they even say they have packages, gold package, platinum package, and all of that. So if you have to get a good pass, A, you have to pay more and get the gold package or the platinum, whatever the package it is. So it questions the intellectual property, intellectual honesty as well. And of course, one of the most important things is the willingness to revise ideas, accept constructive criticism. Like this in research conferences, people do question your study. They would ask you questions, and they would give you suggestions. And the way that people ask questions are different. Some might be very rude, some might be very polite, but all those are irrelevant. As long as you get some good feedback to proceed. That's the whole purpose of research conferences like these. It gives you the opportunity to inquire, to think more, to reflect more about your study and see how you can make it better. So, whatever the criticisms, whatever the feedback that you get today, take them very positively and note them down. Sometimes we spend so much of time giving presenters feedback, and they listen, they accept, and they go off, and that's it. But take a pen and a paper with you to the front when the panel gives you feedback. Write those feedback down. After the panel, the session, go to the panelists and speak to them and see. What do you think of this? You said this. What did you mean by this? Can you elaborate? Can I come back to you if I need more help, more feedback? That also help you to create a network, and who knows, maybe you might do collaborative research in the future with one of the panelists. So make this an opportunity for you to do a good study. And the most important is the impact that many of when you present it, a person might have reflected and thought about their own behavior and thought, okay, this is interesting, and I need to change. I need to think more about this particular attitude that I have or the behavior that I have. But whatever it is, it's important that you do research that is impactful. So my husband is from the industry, and he sees me doing research day in, day out. I'm very passionate about research. So for me, doing research is like a hobby. So I'm many days I'm up late at night doing my research. So he always asks me, so who reads this? And I've said, no, I publish in A Star Journal, A Journal, B Journal, International Journal. That's where we get marks. So, and that's achievement when we publish, as you all know, in a good journal. But who actually reads? I'm doing a research about gender, about women in the workplace. And I'm 100% certain none of the practitioners, none of the HR practitioners read my articles. Those who read it would be the other researchers who do studies on gender, and they would cite my research. Some of them, some articles I have, nobody had cited. So all my sleepless nights, all of that ultimately, where has it led to? But luckily, I do a lot of work with the industry. I've been able to, I have a lot of, being able to connect a lot with the industry, and I do a lot of awareness and help industry with policy preparation. I help the government in many areas that I do research in. So I feel I do actually in some way, in maybe a very small way, but I have been able to make an impact with some of the research that I do, and that's where I'm the most happiest. But some other research that I do as in some way. And I will highlight another important aspect. So, what I really want to highlight today are two things. One is the impact. I'll again touch on it a little bit later on. And the other one, the second point is being ethical in all what you do. Everything that you do in life, you need to be ethical. And they might give you references, of course, that are not existing. And plagiarism, you might plagiarize, knowing or without knowing. So be very, very conscious of this. Why? Because it can even come behind you 20 years down the line. You might be affected by an unethical practice that you engaged in research 20 years later on. So I came across this news recently. This Hungarian president resigns after plagiarism accusation for a PhD, for his PhD, which he had done 20 years ago. 20 years ago, his PhD had been plagiarized and it had been found, publicized, and he had to resign. There are many reports of these. Recently, I saw another academic, head of a organization in a foreign university, had to resign from his positions because he has been a co-author. So he had co-authored with a student, and the student had plagiarized and had not cited properly. So, sometimes we academics, we all got scared reading that because we would read the students' work and all of that, but we might not check the references one by one to see whether the references actually exist. But to see, the student had cited something that was not existing, and the second author, the dean of a faculty, had to resign. So we have to be very careful in terms of the ethical practices. Coming back to the impact of your research, I specifically like this statement. Great wisdom not applied to action and behavior is meaningless data. So we'll spend all this time and all this effort and money, all of that doing research, but if it's not applied, it will be a meaningless research. So imagine you are graduating today and you have done your research. 10 years later, 10 years later, if you are to turn back and see what difference did my undergraduate research make? Has it made any difference? When I reflected on my undergraduate research, I did a lot of work for that, really. I was looking at a very common uh, uh, topic at the time, but this company had an issue. So I was actually, reviewing it, and I collected data, and the employees spent a lot of time giving me information, all of that. And I did my research. I got an A, all of that. And that's where it stopped. And I regret to this date that I did not share my findings with the company. If I did share my findings with the company, I'm sure it would have helped them in at least a small way in solving the issue. But they had, they are the ones who said, we have this issue, research it. And they gave me all the access, everything, and I spent a lot of time, and it's still there. The research is still there in my cupboard, but no impact, no use. And I know if I gave it to the company, there'll be actually it would have been a useful study. So if you go to a company, if you go to few companies, if you do research, make sure that you share your research findings with those companies. And it can actually help you to gain reputation also. I have another undergraduate, a good friend of mine whom I actually met yesterday night. He did research. He did his study at MAS. So this was, I'm talking about long, long years ago, decades ago. I'm not going to tell you how long it is, but decades ago. So while I had my research, there are no outcome of that. He did research at MAS. His study was about SAP at the time, if I'm not mistaken, some aspect. And the company, after the research, he presented to the company. And the company actually recruited him, and he went on to building another company within MAS, and now is a big shot in that company. And he's still there after so many years in that same company where he did research. So the impact of research. So it'll help the company as well as you. So think of how you would contribute from your research, and think of what would you like your answer to be. So I would love it if I could say, my research the company used, and they solved the problem. So ask yourself the question: Am I researching to graduate? Am I researching to publish? Or am I researching to change something that matters? Okay, and then you can passionately talk about your area and knowing that you are doing something that matters. So the future belongs not to those who know the most, but to those who continue to learn, question, and improve. So, my challenge to you, or my vision for you all, is to find research problem that has an impact. Evaluate the impact of your research. Collaborate among universities, research institutes, and private firms, societies, people, etc. You don't need to do a very a research in isolation. Always a good research comes through collaboration. And think of knowledge interaction. Interact with people from different disciplines. That really gives you a very different perspective and a very enhanced research experience and outcome for you. And when you do research, share your knowledge, share your findings, and most importantly, be accountable to your audience, be ethical. um, be ethical. So these are my challenge or my vision for you. I hope you'll be able to think of these in this research, the research that you'll be presenting today, or the future research that you'll be engaging in. And when you actually do this, you also build a name for yourself as a good researcher. So finally, stay curious, read widely, and seek experience that challenge your comfort zone. So thank you so much. Thank you for your patience. And I wish you all the very best. And thank you, Saegis. Thank you, Gayani, for giving me this opportunity. I'll be seeing you. Thank you.
Professor Adhikaram, for such an insightful and thought-provoking keynote address. We now move on to a significant milestone of SURS 2026, official launch of the Symposium proceedings, which showcase the valuable research contributions of our undergraduate presenters. May we kindly invite Senior Professor Arosha Adhikaram, Senior Professor Emeritus W.G.D. Darbaratna, Senior Professor Saman Chandana Edirivira, and Professor Rangana Shalika to join us on stage for the official launch of the proceedings. The SURS 2026 Symposium proceedings are now officially launched. Congratulations to all student researchers whose valuable work is featured in this publication.
Now, I would like to invite Ms. Tarushi Pramodia, co-chair of SURS 2026, to deliver the vote of thanks. Please join me in welcoming her.
Good morning, everyone. Before my vote of thanks, I cordially invite to distribute the vote of thanks for our keynote speaker, to our Deputy Vice Chancellor and Dr. Krishani Anuradha Jayasinghe to distribute the vote of thanks, to distribute the token of appreciation to our keynote speaker. On behalf of the organizing committee, today has been a celebration of undergraduate research, innovation, creativity, and collaboration. The success of this symposium has been made possible through the dedication and collective effort of many individuals and institutions. And I would like to take this opportunity to express our sincere appreciation. First and foremost, I extend our heartfelt gratitude to our keynote speaker, Senior Professor Aroshais Adhikaram, for honoring us with her presence and delivering the inspiring keynote address that has motivated our young researchers and set the tone for today's symposium. Thank you, Madam. And I'm grateful to our Vice Chancellor, Deputy Vice Chancellor, Director of Academic Affairs, Deans of Departments, Registrar, Academic Staff, and University Management for their unwavering encouragement and continued support in promoting undergraduate research innovation. Our sincere appreciation also goes to our distinguished guest, especially Professor Rangana Shalika, Professor in Tourism Management, University of Sabaragamu, Sri Lanka, and the panelists, session chairs, for sharing your valuable expertise, constructive feedback, and inspiring perspective throughout today's program. I would like to express our deepest gratitude to our collaborating universities, Canterbury Christchurch University, United Kingdom, and Assam Downtown University, India, together with our industry partners, sponsors, and supporting organizations for their continued partnership in strengthening undergraduate research, innovation, and academic collaboration. We extend our sincere appreciation our valued sponsors, Imagine Entertainment, Veeravi Group, ICT Club, and GAN Group for your generous support and contribution towards the successful organization of the Saegis Undergraduate Research Symposium 2026. A special thank you is extended to all student researchers, presenters. Your dedication, creativity, and the enthusiasm have enriched the symposium. Your commitment to research and addressing real world problems is truly commendable. My sincere appreciation goes to all our reviewers whose expertise and valuable evaluations have ensured the quality and academic standards of this symposium. I would like to acknowledge the invaluable contribution of our advisory committee, editorial committee, and organizing committee. Month of careful planning, coordination, and hard work have culminated in the successful symposium we have experienced today. I also extend my sincere appreciation to our Chief Operating Officer, Head of IT Department, Head of Marketing Department, the media team, the finance team, the maintenance department, Mr. Sunil Talagararachi and Ms. Lumbini Ganegama, graphic designer, and all administrative staff for their outstanding support in ensuring the smooth execution of today's program. I would like to extend my special appreciation to Mr. Ajan Sri Sheheran for his dedicated effort in preparing the symposium proceedings. I also sincerely thank Mr. Janidu Fernando and Mr. Uday Pereira as the ICT Club advisors for their outstanding contribution to the symposium website development and for coordinating the excellent media coverage through the ICT Club, which greatly enhanced the visibility and success of this event. My heartfelt thank goes to SURS co-chair Ms. Gayani Aruma Peruma, secretaries Ms. Vidushani Mantika and Eshan Ravishka, the student committee under the guidance of Mr. Pramod Premaratna, our dedicated volunteers, and all student volunteers for their commitment, enthusiasm, and professionalism in organizing this event. Special thanks are also extend to everyone involved in registration process, technical coordination, photography, videography, live streaming, and social media promotion for dedication and professionalism throughout the symposium. Finally, I extend my sincere gratitude to every participant, presenter, faculty member, and all the well-wishers who joined us today. Your present, insightful discussion and active engagement have made SURS 2026 is truly meaningful academic gathering. I sincerely apologize if I unintentionally missed anyone's name. Please accept my heartfelt gratitude to everyone who worked tirelessly behind the scenes. Your dedication and commitment made this event possible. As we conclude today's symposium, I hope knowledge shared, the collaboration established, and the friendship formed today will continue to inspire future undergraduate research, innovation, and meaningful academic partnerships. Thank you once again for being a part of Saegis Undergraduate Research Symposium 2026. We wish all continued success in your academic and professional journeys. We look forward to welcoming you again in the next Saegis Undergraduate Research Symposium. Thank you, everyone.
Much. And we are sorry for the previous inconvenience. We would also like to invite our distinguished guests, keynote speaker, panelists, co-chair, chairs, secretaries, and members of the organizing committee to join us for a group photograph. We may kindly request everyone to come forward and gather on stage for the photograph.
researchers and faculty members. After that, the technical sessions will begin across all tracks. Presenters, please proceed to your assigned rooms and session chairs after the networking session. Session chairs, kindly requested to ensure that the sessions begin on time. We wish all our presenters the very best as they share their research findings with the panel audience. We will gather after the short break with awarding ceremony.